Sorry about that. Daughter's with the ex-husband, so I've got to leave the phone on ring, which means I'm going to have lovely issues with the phone going off all the time. So, just in case I have to post this as two separate videos again, there is introduction that will come before this, explaining what I've got out so far. Yeah, so, which I haven't quite got to the end of, but we'll continue. So, few potentials actually as well. This could be somebody who's already in this long-term situation that, you know, like, what goes against it, it's either somebody that's coming along that you're going to end up in this long-term situation with, or somebody that's potentially already there. And then this reading will be to show you a few things that you need to know. So what goes against this is the Three of Wands, which is normally ships coming in energy. So there must be some blockage between, because this kind of energy is your ships have come in. You've been set up for life. So with this block, there's something blocking that, this progress into this energy. What supports getting to this position is the Five of Swords. So this means that there's been some kind of battle that you've been fighting, that you're willing to put the swords down on, that is going to help. In the past, there's been some kind of financial opportunity, some kind of windfall, something like that. So it may be that there's been some investment somewhere. I mean, this is a love reading, so I'm not sure. I mean, you know, we'll see. I think a lot of cups will start coming out to make sense of why we've got so many pentacles here, but we'll just have to hang on with it and we'll see. I mean, could be in someone's case as well that somebody's staying in a situation for the money and they're not wanting to, this is in the present, they're not wanting to move on from that situation. We'll see how this plays out. So in the future we've got the Hermit and the Magician. So this is like soul searching. The Hermit, you're not seeing all the path in front of you. It sort of comes to light bit by bit. With the Magician, it's the manifesting, using all your resources to manifest the future that you want. I'm interested to see how this links together. Where can you find support and assistance? Well, this Ten of Wands, somebody's carrying too many burdens. In what sense, we'll know some more when I pull some clarifiers. Where can you find guidance? We've got this Knight of Pentacles. So this is, again, this is this slow, steady energy sort of reflected in the Hermit. And if we're talking sort of long-term setting up, this is why I feel this is an energy that's going to be coming to you, not necessarily somebody who's already in that energy. You need to understand that it's going to take time to unfold. Where can you find balance? The world. A few ways this could go. This could be about learning lessons, that, you know, like integrating lessons and realising where one thing's ended and something else needs to begin. But, like I say, we're going to dig in and we'll see. So, let me see. What do we need to know? Can you explain this Ten of Pentacles a bit further for air signs, please? Have some more information on this Ten of Pentacles. Oh, looks quick. Six of Wands. So that's a victorious energy, like a recognition for something. Kind of like riding home victorious after some major accomplishment, which matches this energy of the Ten of Pentacles quite nicely, in the sense that it's setting you up for the future somehow. So there's been some, or there will be some major achievement that you've been working on. Sorry, it's looking at the candle going a bit bonkers. Some major achievement to come. Let's see, what's this Three of Wands energy? What's this Three of Wands? Whoa. Three of Wands. Three of Wands. What the hell? Prosperity arising from wise planning. Take time to look at the next steps. Right, so, as we've got this Knight of Pentacles here, and this is your guidance, you're not planning for your future. You're not taking the opportunity to really... This is about clear manifestation. With the Magician and the Hermit here. What on earth was that? With the Magician and the Hermit, this is... To me, I'm seeing this as needing to really focus and hone in on what it is that you want, because you're not... And in the cases where you are manifesting something, you're holding on to it, and it's not... It's like this is trying to come through, but you're blocking it by holding on too tightly. The Three of Wands is like active waiting, so you manifest something, you let that go, let the universe get to work on how it's going to provide it. And this is there was a similar message in one of the other readings as well. And you need to sort of let that go and wait, and then allow them ships to come in. So you need to be turning your attention elsewhere to allow this manifestation to come in. So this is somebody who's manifesting like a really long-term ideal, but yeah, in some way they're blocking it. So what do we need to know about this Five of Swords energy? What do we need to know about this Five of Swords? Fallen herbs burning up on the candle there. Oh, I'm going to take that because it fell off the bottom. Queen of Wands. So this is... the message with this, so many wands in this reading now as well. So there's a lot of fire energy here. You can do anything you want right now, go after what you want, the ability to attract helpful people. With this Ten of Wands, there's definitely a feeling of, and then the Hermit, somebody's going it alone far too much and they're holding on to that. They're potentially blocking out people who are going to help them. Or maybe even things, situations that are going to help them. It's like this is trying to be offered to you. Something's coming offering you this, but you're holding on to something else. Starting to come together. So what can we see about this Ace of Pentacles from the past? These love readings have been crazy. They're very, very closely linked to the general readings. And this for me it makes me feel that for the people they're going to resonate with, I feel like it's pointing towards missions and life purpose and things like that, because of the fact they're so closely linked. And then these things kind of, you know, they're all coming together. I feel that in some way there's guidance in these. It's pushing you towards your life purpose. I'm going to, as well, while I think on, when I do the readings next that I'm going to do, I've already decided I'm going to do the pyramid spread with the Akashic Tarot for work, business, finances, but I want it to be sort of a life purpose based read as well, so that you can see what you're doing now, if it is or isn't tied into your life purpose and how that's affecting it. But yeah, so they're going to come later. Right, so in the past, we're not taking, you know, this Pentacle's been trying to come through, or it has come through, you've maybe accepted something, but and then you may be holding on to that too tightly here, and it's time to let that thing go to work on something else. This is so much the same as someone else's reading. My art show who, I can't remember now because I did them all yesterday, and I did quite a lot of readings yesterday, so I can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, so Queen of Cups, following your heart, a love of home and family, and trustworthy psychic information. I'm going to take a present card and then the future, and I'm going to work these out together. What exactly it's telling me is still eluding me somewhat. What's this Four of Pentacles about? That's trying to jump. 20 new beginnings, definitely. It's holding on to the past. You're holding on to a situation from your past. And not... In this deck, this card is all about starting a new life, finding your purpose. What have I just been saying as well? Finding your purpose, a forgiving and compassionate review of the past. The Queen of Cups is very much... She's like sort of the watery, mothery energy. And it's just making me think about this full moon and this eclipse we've got today as well, because that's like the Cancer archetype. I feel that somebody may have chosen financial stability over love here somewhere. Or that they've chosen, they're perhaps holding on to a family situation and feeling like they're stuck there and not really quite taking the opportunities to move on from it and do something else. It would make sense as to why we've got so much sort of financial and like pentacles coming out in a love reading. You see somebody that's kind of perhaps feeling the tide in a financial situation, and they're really wanting to look towards that new beginning now. The fact that it's come out for the present indicates that this is what it is, it's happening, but you're struggling to let go and you're holding on to that past. You're not planning. The Three of Wands here means you need to be looking towards the future. Let's have a look. The Hermit and the Magician. That was quick. I don't believe this. The Magician, again, this is all about you creating and manifesting the life that you want. If you decide, make the decision, like the Queen of Wands, she's like the magic, you know, she's got like, she's about her soul and her spirit. I feel like somebody's really giving up on, they've tried and tried to kind of stick with something that they've put a lot of years into, and now this is the moving forward from that. But you need to start seeing this potential of the future. You're blocking it out at the moment through fear or through some other, like maybe financial situation or something like that. The Magician on the Magician here is saying that you've got that power. The Hermit is asking you, is withdrawing from this situation and really claiming your power with that Queen of Wands as well. I feel that you, and then we've got the Queen of Cups. This is going from, this is why I'm feeling it's maybe somebody who's put a lot of time into their family. So we've got this like mother energy here, but then with this Queen of Wands just kind of stepping into her own power. The Queen of Wands is a badass. She's the hot queen, you know. So this is like getting to that point now where you're reclaiming your power and realising that there's more out there for you. It's taking a little while to come together, but it's done it. So what is this Ten of Wands about? Yeah, see, you've been shouldering too many burdens and taking on, like raising a family, or like devoting all your time into a marriage. Maybe wasn't getting as much back out of it as you were putting in. You know, you maybe kind of been holding on, hoping it's going to improve. But now it's time to, you know, this is like, I don't see an immediate relationship on the horizon for those that pull back into this Hermit energy. This is all about claiming their magic and their power. This can be both genders too. This could be a father doing the same thing. And because with the Magician energy, you know, yeah, the Magician energy, it's kind of, it could be the more masculine energy. Got double Virgo going on there as well, like in fact triple Virgo if you count the Magician twice. So you could be dealing with a Virgo, or you could be, you could have Virgo strongly in your chart. I mean, that is a lot of overpowering Virgo. A lot of Virgo. Okay, so Ten of Wands. What's this Ten of Wands about? What is this Ten of Wands? Just trying to get out. The Empress. you're overburdened with the mother role. This is definitely a female, feminine energy. Again, I say female, it could be a male embodying the feminine energy. It's absolutely what I said. This Ten of Wands is being overburdened, taking on too much on your own, maybe putting too much into a situationship that isn't giving you things back, and you're feeling trapped and stuck, maybe not seeing your own worth. Because also the Empress here would be, and then the Queen of, in fact all these queens, but like I say, you've just seen yourself as some kind of mother figure up to this point, but the Queen of Wands is you're starting to see how badass and powerful you are. You're starting to step into your power, and that's what this Empress is. Yes, the Empress is a mother, but she's a many, many other things too on top of that. So, okay, Knight of Pentacles. What's this Knight of Pentacles here to tell us? It's like maybe the future that you saw was going to be one way with this Ten of Pentacles, but it's not necessarily that. Six of Cups with the Knight of Pentacles. So this can be healing potential childhood wounds and sort of social programming and things that you've thought about relationships. And this Knight of Pentacles is saying that it's going to take some time for you to get this new mindset going. Do you know, like, you're starting to recognise your worth and realising you're wanting more, but you're still telling yourself that you need to be home with the kids and all this stuff. And that's not necessarily how it works. You can still be a mother and be everything else that you want to be too. The happier you are, the happier your children are going to be. So, you know, so this Knight of Pentacles could be saying that there's a process there. It could also be saying that, I'm going to take another one because there's another message that's trying to come through, but I'm just not quite getting it. What else is this trying to say? Two trying to show themselves. Two of Swords. So yeah, stop being guarded, take the blindfold off and see things what they really are. You're struggling to make a decision and you're over-analysing it. Again, I'm feeling that, I mean, it would be more Eight of Swords energy, but I am feeling that you are being trapped by your own mindset on things still. Or perhaps what other people are imposing on you. We've got the Knight of Cups as well, which is, so we've got the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups there. So, I feel that, yeah, you're blinded to like the way love and relationships kind of work. Perhaps viewed relationships in that kind of old template of them being business partnerships, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with that if that works for you. I know people who, and I could never understand it, sort of when I was a bit younger and, you know, sort of had my judgments still. I used to look at people who fell into the sort of gender stereotype roles and think to myself, do you know, like, well, you know, she's a mug and he's not pulling his weight and things like that. Now I look at those relationships and I see they are actually some of the happiest relationships that there are. But what I mean to say with this is that if you're stuck in that template and that template isn't working for you, you need to look at love, romance, relationships in different ways. The Knight of Cups is an offer. It is an offer of love, and I feel this is something different to what you're used to. And that's maybe why you've got your blindfold on. You're not seeing it. You're kind of judging the situation with your old template and your old understanding on the situation. So yeah, that's what I'm getting for that. Okay, so what is this? Wow, that was quick. The World. Get hold of them. So yeah, love it when it does this. So we've got Two of Wands, which is about making bold and ambitious choices. That's like looking out towards the future. It's what comes before the Three of Wands. It's like making that decision to change your world, and then the Three of Wands is acting on it. So I feel like this is saying here that you've maybe made that decision to do that. You've realised with this world energy that you've taken this situation that you're in as far as you can take it. This relationship or Whatever it is, however it fits you. It could be the fact that you've been single and you've been working on your career, and now you're realising that, you know, there's many different ways that this could fit. I mean, obviously we've got this mother energy, both sides reflecting with this Queen of Wands energy there. So that is what's coming through strongest. And this has been coming through in other readings too. So I do feel that's the strongest energy that there is with that. But that's not going to be for everybody. There are going to be other ways that it fits. It's maybe people who've been long-term single, working on the career, and now all of a sudden they're starting to see the world differently and how relationships may fit them, but they're so used to being so practical and level-headed that this like Knight of Cups energy coming and sweeping them off the feet, scaring them to death. So that's going to be for somebody. But yeah, the world, you're starting to realise, and with the Two of Wands in the rider, it's the guy holding the world in his hands. So it's no accident. He's looking out across the distance and thinking, like, he's got the whole world in his hands but doesn't know what to do about it. So it may be somebody that's already left some kind of relationship, but they're feeling at this crossroads and they really don't know what to do with themselves. Again, numerous different ways this can fit. And it would be the very, very last card. Look, it would have been at the top of the deck. And I'll hold this up so you can see. The Two of Wands, you know, he's holding the world in his hands. And you've got the World card. You're realising that the world is your oyster. You've got all these new opportunities and new potentials in front of you, but you're not making the solid plans to do something about it. So that's what's going to bring you balance. Making the choices, making the plans. Also with that came the Four of Pentacles again. So you're really, really holding on to, it could be ideas to do with money and how like work fits in relationships, choosing money and career over love. And you really want to choose love, or you really want to choose going into this new situation, but you don't understand how you're going to make that work, because if you're giving up all your financial security to do so, that's scary. So again, this is where it's kind of saying to you that you've got the power to manifest your entire future. You're still going to have that financial stability, you're still going to be victorious, but you need to switch up your way of thinking surrounding it. Five of Swords, again, it's giving up the battle, giving up the fight, realising that the situation you're in doesn't serve you, and looking towards a new, more beneficial way of life, really. So, yeah, not much more to say on that. I'm going to take a couple of cards, or a card, we'll see what jumps out for each sign now. And that will sort of help you either resonate or contextualise or maybe clear up something. So, Gemini. I think that was quick. Far too many to take there. Try that again. Gemini. What does Gemini, some advice or guidance or information for Gemini? Six of Forces, the waterfall. Like the river and the waterfall, it carves its way through any landscape. There's no stopping it, or there is, there can be people interfering, but when nature is allowed to run in its true force, that waterfall, that river will find its way through any landscape and carve its own path. I don't need to say any more about that, about how that fits in with this. You have that power of that waterfall. This is you carving your way through and then going into this free fall, this drop into, everything you wanted, but it's kind of trusting the universe that, once you've carved your way through, that drop's going to lead you exactly where you need to be. So, Libra, what messages have we got for Libra? Let's try to jump. Eight of Roses. So this is Sangha, community. On this card, even if I hold this up, it's not going to be worth doing it, but I advise you to look up this card, because it's one of my favourite cards in this deck, and there's something about it that really draws me. I will hold it up, but you probably won't be able to tell. It's just absolutely full of symbolism from sort of every religion, tradition, spiritual ideal system. So there could be, for somebody here, this situation is going to take them outside of the comfort zone, and that's what they're holding on to. It could be somebody of a different religious background, could be somebody from some different kind of community that you've maybe sort of had sort of judgments or thoughts on in the past. This is the whole, you know, so for you it could be that these are sort of fears that you've got about coming out of your own community and looking at something from a different perspective. But this card is really positive. It sort of says that no matter what our differences are, what our different backgrounds and our different beliefs and our upbringings, not only do we find comfort in our own community, we can find it in others too. You know, it's about breaking down barriers and diversity. So I love that message for Libra. And lastly, Aquarius. We've got a specific, that was quick too. Queen of Forces. Someone else got this card. Can't think who it was now. Maybe an Earth sign. The Queen of Forces. Really, really apt. I feel like this is kind of saying, this is literally speaking to someone in the here and now, because as you can see, we've got the sun and the moon. And she's balancing both. She really is coming into her power. We've got, in fact, this couldn't be any better. Hang on, you can't get hold of it. There we go. We've got the Queen of Cups, watery energy. We've got the Queen of Wands, fire energy. Here she is, standing between both worlds, standing between the light and the dark, standing between the day and the night, standing between, you know, the lunar power and the solar power. She's embodying all of it. This is your message to tell you that this, you know, you are all these things. It's it's like extra confirmation of what I've already said so far, that you know, you're kind of pigeonholing yourself into one thing, when really you are so much more. You've got so much more. You're realising your power, so much more power than you realise. Absolutely love that. Yeah, not a lot more to say there, but I absolutely love that reading for air signs. If you'd like to book a personal reading, information's in the drop down box, and I do hope that, you know, like, share, subscribe, send this on to whoever you feel needs to see it. And yeah, thank you.